Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the M's Automatron Parts Collection mod, which is being made by user M150, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a pretty awesome set of new parts for building robots with, and I love that. That was by far my favorite bit of the Automatron DLC, and now having a nice selection of new parts just adds a whole new dimension to robot building, which of course does mean that as a prerequisite for this mod, you will need the Automatron DLC, but with that installed, you can enjoy all the lovely new parts and create oddities such as this, my weird robot that I just finished building, which is basically three Mr. Handys welded together, and for some reason, that amuses me greatly, and this is just one of the many strange possibilities with M's Automatron Parts Collection. So let's actually take a look at all the various parts, and actually now that I'm noticing really the time of day and where the shadows are, let's rotate this thing around so you guys can see a bit better, and there we go. Head into craft, and what the heck, we will grab our Automatron friend here, and start in the torso category, because he of course already has the Mr. Handy torso, and the first thing I do want to show off is with the Mr. Handy torso. So you can only do this with the Mr. Handys, and the Mr. Handy has the top slot to put something on top of his dome. And with that, rather than putting just the factory armor dome, you can actually put another Mr. Handy on top, thus how I have a triple stack, and it is beautiful. So we have what is referred to as the top handy. So that is the first new part. Now with that, and I believe that's the only thing really required with the handy torso, so we're actually going to switch to the Protectron because there are two new head designs, and of course you have to be with either Protectron, Soltron, Robobrain, or Sentry to deal with those. So if we go back to the head category, we have, of course, the Android head, which if we do zoom up to the top there, you can have a good look at, and as you can see, it is the Android phone mascot, and I like that, being an Android user myself. Plus, I mean, it's just a nice, robust-looking robot head for you there. It's pretty fun. And the second new addition to the head category is the antenna head, which I have to say, I think I like the most of the two heads because it's a very cool design, very sleek. And if you are trying to make a smaller, sleeker robot, this might be the perfect choice for a head. So what the heck, let's go and grab that. And now after the top handy and our two new heads, the rest of the stuff is in the leg category. We really don't have any arms to speak of that are different from the usual, but we do have a whole lot of new legs. So let's actually zoom back out. There we go. And, well, we'll start up at the top with chicken legs, which as you can see through the UI there is a set of bipedal chicken legs, which is hilarious, and of course has improved carrying capacity and improved damage resistance, and, well, your robot will run like a chicken. And we then also have a high maneuver model, which as you can see is a little bit bigger, and is frankly hilarious. I don't know, there's just something about the chicken leg robot that just makes me smile, frankly. We then have the cigar-shaped Mr. Handy style thruster there, where you can float along with what looks like a zeppelin mixed with a bomb. Very fun. We of course do then have the bottom handy, so you can have the fun 3-stack. We then have the typical Mr. Handy thruster, but that's vanilla, so let's move on to the quad thruster. There we go. So instead of just one little default handy thruster, you can have 4, and that, well, that's just fun and useful. We then have the reptile legs, which are similar to the chicken legs, just a slightly different design, slightly less angled. They're a bit more straightforward, which is quite cool there. And again, improved carry capacity, improved damage resistance, etc. We then have the high maneuver version of it, again, very similar to the chicken legs, but just a little bit different. And of course, we then move on to the Rideable Ibot, which I find hilarious. You have the basic Protectron legs up there, and you're straddling an Ibot, and that is pretty funny. I have this hilarious image of a Protectron riding an Ibot with a sword just charging into battle, and that makes me smile. The next thing we have is a shopping cart. If you're wanting to go a bit old school, there you go. You can put your robot into a shopping cart, and it will roll along with you, which is strange, but strangely I like it. And the next we have is a UFO version. So if you aren't, wanting to use these standard sort of thrusters for the Mr. Handy model, or that quad one we looked at earlier, you can go for the UFO styling, which is always a nice look. We then have, instead of the shopping cart, a robot wheelchair, which I find this one a little bit strange, but then again, we were just in a shopping cart, so who am I to complain? But yes, you can have a wheelchair-bound Automatron. And then that moves us back into the standard ones here, the SentryBot Protectron Legs, and that is all the parts. But yes, you can make some really strange robots, and oh no, we're going with the Rideable Ibot, because that's just hilarious. And yeah, you can mess around with the new heads, including the new top Mr. Handy, and the variety of fun new legs, and that is just cool.
I wonder what you'll build next.
I don't know what I'll build next either, 645, but with this mod, it'll probably be weird. But yeah, that is really all there is at the moment to this glorious little mod. Just a nice selection of new parts for your robots, which I would definitely suggest that you go and check out for yourself. And if you would like to, of course, the link is in the description as per usual. But that is going to be it for this episode, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next, when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!